Alrighty, it is 1:37 p.m. and this was the same position of the fake sun as Joan Kim was crossing path, okay? As I'm standing up there making a video pointing out the maintenance of the light source over the UPS store, and I'm remaining in traffic driving back to this apartment complex, and you're seeing the fake sun over my head at the Alvarado Gardens, which is the scientific impossibility, directly incriminating what you saw in plain sight in that previous video, crossing path, doing so in the shoes of the government. You belong in federal prison, and that's exactly where you're going. Also keeping cameras at the property for purposes of keeping me under surveillance. That's relevant to the ways in which you're going to be prosecuted. It is currently, again, what is 1:37 p.m. All right, and that's the entity stalking in helicopter where they're holding cameras in their windows, keeping me under surveillance, and that's why they're going to federal prison. These are the unintelligent minions that are incriminating each other. And this is literally the, I just want you to see the distance of that helicopter. That's demonic. It's called amplification. That's not going to rumble my office. It's not going to cause any earthquake. It's not going to be amplified inside of the apartment. That's a demon stalking in a helicopter, telling on Iris Carnero, telling on Joan Kim, who are both going to federal prison, placing surveillance cameras at their apartment to keep me under surveillance so they can see me walk to and from my apartment. So, in concert with that state, on behalf of that state, because the fake sun is over me at this apartment complex, and because they are LAPD following me to the bank, flying over my head at Walmart, flying over me while I am driving down the streets in Los Angeles, flying outside of my apartment for 47 minutes, and no one is mistaken right now about what Gabriel Arriaga Carvajal is doing in concert with the LAPD. He's going to federal prison. These are the ways that a bunch of passive-aggressive demons like to show their hostility, and it's unfortunate because all you're going to do is sit in federal prison for it. Dominic Choi is going to be prosecuted for it. Iris Carnero is going to be prosecuted for it. She's going to be removed from the children that she currently has custody of while you're looking at the psychotic, sexually violent, and terrorizing criminal system that she is participating in amongst somebody who she also knows is enforcing their rights. And it doesn't even make any sense that you're doing it in the first place, but for the fact that you are a public safety concern, and the federal government's going to neutralize that threat. All right, and so this entire property is going to federal prison because this is what the property is doing 24/7. And that's why I have helicopters flying over me when I'm going to the bank. Okay, so everybody that's at that Chase Bank, that was in the bank while LAPD flew a circle over it, everybody's in that bank's going to federal prison. And they're on surveillance cameras inside of that bank. That's my documentation. And they're all engaged in criminal presence, not the lawful operation of a business or being on the clock. It's admission to engaging in criminal conduct for which you go to federal prison, group stalking with a corrupt government, while you call yourself Chase Bank. Okay, so I want to be clear. It is currently 1:39 p.m. where the state is again providing evidence of the criminal system that I remain subject to. And as I document the people of the state, I am subject to an ongoing threat to my life, to my safety, to my well-being, while a demented and deranged population engages in criminal surveillance in the United States. Not only is it going to be prosecuted, it's going to be exposed, and it's going to be deterred. And part of that deterrence, that process, that purpose of that deterrence is through the intensity of that punishment, the intensity of that the consequences for engaging in this criminal system. And it will include disbanding, it will include permanent removal, it will include an extensive criminal record, it will include federal prison. All right, and the entity is doing so at 1:40 p.m. where this fake sun, as you can see it through the windshield. Make sure to pay attention to all the position of the light source, because the entity is keeping a fake sun over the Ova Family Community Library on this day in 2022, and the entity is keeping a fake sun over me where I'm not quite back yet at Alvarado Gardens yesterday, as I went to the UPS store and I got on the freeway and I came back, but yet it's seen through the windshield of my vehicle as I'm driving on the roads and the highways. This is where an entity is stalking in a helicopter, not helping those who maintain surveillance cameras to track my moves as I go to and from my apartments. That's also relevant to how long you're sitting in federal prison, how devoted you are to the system of surveillance. And then your criminal co-conspirator provides evidence against you. Let me be clear, there needs to be an education requirement regarding law enforcement, not only because of this criminal system, and clearly the demons of the LAPD can't even spell Constitution, but you're talking about the unintelligent manners. That's a threat. You're clearly unintelligent, and you are stalking. You have access to a helicopter, and you're that imprudent with regard to the manner in which you're engaging in very serious criminal activity. There are people whose name and information I know right now, they're going straight to federal prison for it. Yes, there needs to be an education requirement for multiple reasons regarding law enforcement. Not any sociopath should be able to pass the academy and then being in law enforcement. You're seeing the fruits of that. Satan can use any psychopath. And that's exactly what fills the LAPD. And they're incriminating everybody here and speaker companies because they're all going to federal prison. It is currently 1:41 p.m. This is P.O.C.